Hi everyone, my name's Katie. Welcome to my channel. The best reissues of 2025 so far. So this is going to be the first of two videos. Next week's video is going to be my favorite new releases of 2025 so far. But this week I thought I would talk about, and there's probably about 13 here, the best reissues of 2025 so far. I've got a couple of bonus compilations in there, and I'm including some live albums that were released for the first time, but they're kind of reissues because it's live music of past albums, obviously. So these are reissues and live albums, and the first one, of course, is Pink Floyd at Pompeii. This was a revelation to me. So many of the vinyl community knew this album. I never had it, and it's kind of led me down an entire world. I am familiar with Pink Floyd, but not like all of you, kind of, you know, really into kind of that 70s Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd. I've got quite a few albums, but I've just never done a deep dive. Never saw the movie. This album was just a revelation to me. It is up there in my top reissues of 2025. Of course, it came out on a DVD as well. I got the double album. It was an absolutely beautiful set. Packaging. I'll take it out of its sleeve. You should all know it. This beautiful gatefold. And the album itself, the recording itself is absolutely beautiful. And of course, it's got the poster and the paper sleeves. I haven't put it into static-free sleeves yet, but I was so happy to get this. One of my favourite albums of the year, not just the next one is one I probably showed, I think in my last video, Stevie Nicks, Belladonna. I won't say too much. You will have seen that last video if you're watching my videos. If not, check my video list. Absolutely brilliant album. Of course, Stevie Nicks' debut album. The next one is another absolute killer release, exclusive release from Dylan at Noble Records. And this is Yezda Urfa, commonly known as Boris. It is such a stunning album. They knocked it out of the park with this one. If you haven't listened to it, this is kind of early 70s psych rock. Underground cult classic among deep prog collectors. Prog rock, sorry, not psych. Only 300 were pressed originally, and it goes for a fortune. So this was done on at QRP, 180 gram vinyl. Beautiful recording, and just fantastic reissue from Noble Records. The next one is a bit of a sleeper, and I was so happy. This had never come out on vinyl. It came out on Record Store Day, and this is the live album from Emmylou Harris, Spyboy, with her band Spyboy from the time. This was such a fantastic album. I think post Wrecking Ball and the touring band, just absolutely beautiful. Produced by Buddy Miller. And let's see what the live album from the All-Star Wrecking Ball touring band for the first time on vinyl with 5 previously unreleased tracks. And if you know Wrecking Ball, it was kind of her comeback masterpiece after she'd sort of been through her whole decade or so of country Americana, and she came out with this stunning left of center album produced by Daniel Lanois, I think. Anyway, this was the touring live album. So happy to have it. Brilliant reissue. But actually, it's not a reissue, is it? It should be part of my live albums because it's the first time on vinyl. So it is a reissue. Yep. All right. I've probably spoken about this before. I haven't got a huge blues collection. I don't listen to a lot of blues. I'm trying to rectify this. But I collect a few of these, the Lost Recordings label, which are beautifully presented in this kind of deep blue gold foil type cover. The recordings are Lost Recordings of mostly Americans going to Europe, the jazz blues guys visiting Europe, all around, and all these recordings that were made during that kind of time in the 50s, 60s, 70s. And there've been some real treats. But this one, the original American Folk and Blues Festival, which was all these blues guys coming to Europe for the first time in the 60s. And this was live in Paris in 1962 and Bremen in 1963, including Brownie McGee and Sonny Terry, Sonny Bill Williamson too, Helen Humes, Willie Dixon, Johnny Hooker, T-Bone Walker, and Memphis Slim. And this album, apart from the fact that the quality of the recording is beautiful, quiet pressing, the music is just alive. It's fantastic. So a wonderful reissue that came out this year. And of course, Tracy Chapman, it was her 35th anniversary of this iconic debut album, Tracy Chapman. Came in several variations. This one was the kind of like a clay colour or a deep red colour. Iconic album, and it sounds beautiful. I've got an original from Amiga pressing in Germany, Amiga label. But this, it might have been Italy. Anyway, my one is beautiful. This one is great. It's really fantastic, and it's so great that we can this was going for too much money on the secondary market. So wonderful that she agreed to a repressing for the 35th anniversary. I was really looking forward to this, and I wasn't disappointed. This is my play copy now. I'm very happy. All right. A couple from that I've received this week, and I could not have been more excited about this. This is a reissue from 2016 of Juliana Hatfield from Lemonheads, etc. Has done a couple of cover albums, and one of them is Juliana Hatfield sings Olivia Newton-John. This is better than Olivia Newton-John. Honestly, this is how Olivia Newton-John's music should have sounded, and I know she was alive to hear it, which is amazing. This is the perfect pairing. This is absolutely like a really beautiful wine and cheese. This is absolutely quintessential Olivia Newton-John, sung in the best way possible, produced in the best way possible. This is up there. Honestly, this is up there with one of my favourite albums of the year. I have already played this like 3 times. I'm going to play it after this video. If you want just solid pop music at a party to get everyone just in a mood, this is it. Honestly, she's done an outstanding job. It's been reissued this year. Proceeds, it's a limited edition of 300. $1 from every sale, so $300, not much, goes to the Olivia Newton-John Cancer Wellness and Research Centre, which is really lovely. Signed copy, very, very happy. And it's been released on this gorgeous lavender. I know. I do love a coloured vinyl. I know some people, black is the way. But for me, they don't sound that different. And, just a bit of fun. All right. Now we get into... So that was probably about 5 or 6 great reissues so far of 2025. Now we get into some live albums that have been released in 2025. And I've got quite a few. I'll start off with a bit of a surprise one. This is Adriana Lenka live at Revolution Hall. Double cassette. She only released about 100 or 200 of these at the time. I haven't opened it. They're going for a fortune. I was lucky enough to pull the trigger on it and buy it the morning it came out. I absolutely loved her album last year, and this was just a bit of fun. I don't have a cassette player. I have a very bad one that doesn't play very well, and I don't want to ruin the tape. So I've got a kind of a sort of a growing collection of cassette tapes building. If anyone can recommend to me in the comments what cassette player, preferably vintage, I should get, let me know. As you know, I've got a Leak. That's the new 230. I've got the Sansui. So I've kind of mixed modern and vintage. I'd love to know what I should get. So please recommend in the comments if you're hi-fi. Okay, this one came out this week. This is live at the Factory Theatre by Wednesday. Of course, the group that MJ Lenderman was in prior to him going solo. This was, Factory Theatre is in Sydney, Australia. And this was from a year or so ago. And the Australian label Impress Records were able to secure an opportunity to record that gig and release it on limited edition to 500. Check, it may have sold out. I'm not sure. I think it might have sold out already. This recording, I was a bit nervous about it. Factory Theatre is a strange venue for me, but the recording is really great. So kudos to the Impress Records team. This is brilliant. And of course, it was one of the I think it was one of the final tour before they split up. And when the MJ Lenderman kind of left the band, sort of officially touring band. And so it's a kind of a time stamp of a moment. And it's a raucous live, there's speaking in between songs, there's coughing. Factory Theatre is one of those clubs in Sydney music that's been around forever, and it just captures the spirit of it. And I'm so pleased that we have that. So that's a fantastic album. Oh, this one's not a live album. This was from Third Man Records. Ted Lucas. They reissued this kind of long-lost acoustic folk masterpiece. Beautiful, mellow, and warm songs. It says here, recommended if you like Nick Drake, Ravi Shankar, or John Fahey. And it kind of, that's spot on, actually. I absolutely adore this album. I was playing it this morning. It's a fantastic song on the end of side one. It's So Nice to Get Stoned, which is this kind of long drawl that just goes on, and typically kind of a very stony song. The whole album is just stunning. I'd never heard of him. I bought it on a whim, or kind of on a hunch that it would be good, and I haven't looked back. It's just one of my favourite reissues of the year. Third Man Records. Came out in 2 vinyl variants. I got the black, and I think there might have been a green. Okay, another live album. This one was from Record Store Day. Again, a bit of a sleeper one. It wasn't talked about in any of the Record Store Day videos I saw, at least. And it is just stunning. Marcus King, of course, is an amazing contemporary blues artist. We saw him on this tour when he came to Sydney. Blues singer and guitarist. He's the real deal. He's just extraordinary. And this is a double live album, live from the Bluebird Cafe, featuring Drew Smithers and Peter Levine. August the 8th, 2024, Nashville, Tennessee. And it's a stunning version of that live concert that we went to see. And if you're into blues, I highly recommend this live recording from 2025. Right. If you're a regular of my channel, you know how much I love Joni Mitchell, and her latest in her archive series, also Record Store Day, was the three volume set as a kind of a book, a tri book situation was released, and it's the Joni Mitchell and the LA Express, which is the jazz band that she toured with during her jazz era, 1976 US tour. Absolutely phenomenal album. The hype sticker says, recently unearthed recordings from Joni's landmark 1976 tour for the first time on vinyl, includes Free Man from Paris, Travelling Hijira, The Jungle Line, limited edition of 6,500. And honestly, it's just again, I wish I'd been able to see Joni live at this time. I was too young. This era, I love Joni of this era, and she's just announced a Joni Jazz 9 LP compilation, which I've ordered. I can't wait for that. So that was an amazing live album to get. And then finally, a compilation album, which is just a little bit of a kind of get an extra bonus record for this video. In the kind of sort of corners of the internet, one day this year, the amazing Bridge School, which supports kids with various needs, announced this compilation album to fundraise their school. If you're a fan of Neil Young, you'll know the Bridge School. His ex-wife was very, very involved in this school. In fact, might have even founded it. I need to check on that. Sorry, somebody can tell me. And they released this incredible album called Heart of Gold, The Songs of Neil Young. Now, the reason it's so special, it's obviously all Neil Young songs. The lineup of these artists on this album is such a treat, and the music is beautiful. And again, it's such a little album that not many people know about, and if it's a great compilation album. I'll show you the artists there. Sorry about the reflection. You can see. You have Philadelphia, Brandy Carlisle singing a beautiful, haunting piano version of that. Fiona Apple's Heart of Gold is the hit of the album. It's just perfect. That combination of that song and Fiona Apple's voice it just works like magic. Mumford & Sons does Harvest. Eddie Vedder, Needle and Damage Done. Courtney Barnett, one of my favourite Australian singers, does Lot of Love. Lumineers, Sugar Mountain, and on it goes. Like Rodney Crowell, Mr. Soul. Some of them are contributed and some of them are new recordings. This was such a great album, and if you can get it, if you're into compilations and you love Neil Young, I highly recommend it. It came on a white vinyl. Sometimes they just don't come out on black. You know, I don't ever try and get the coloured vinyl. It's just what's available. But a lot of them are coloured now. Anyway, that's my first best of 2025 so far video. So I've covered reissues, live albums, compilations. Next week, I'm going to look at the best new releases. Well, not best. It's my favourite new releases of 2025 so far. So I'll see you then. All right. See you next time. Bye.